You know, you own the most complex machine in the entire universe, and you live inside it every single day. But how well do you really know how it works? Well, today, we're going to pop the hood. We're opening up the user's guide to your own body to figure out its fundamental operating principles.
All right, let's just start right at the core, shall we? Right now, as you're sitting here listening to me, there are literally trillions of chemical reactions firing off inside you every single second. It's like this constant, invisible storm of activity. And there's one word for it. Any guesses?
You got it. It's your metabolism. And look, it's so much more than just burning calories or what you read about in diet magazines. This is the master engine. It's what's powering every single thing you do. I mean, from your heart beating in your chest to your brain actually processing what I'm saying right now.
Okay, so here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to look at your body's daily mission, then we'll zoom way down from atoms to cells. After that, we'll peek inside the cellular factory itself. We'll see how those cells work together to form tissues. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the ultimate balancing act that keeps this whole show running.
All right, first up, your body's daily mission. I mean, what is it actually trying to do all day long? Because it's definitely not random. The whole thing, its entire mission, really boils down to two fundamental, kind of opposing forces that keep the system running. So think of your metabolism as a constant tug-of-war. On one side, you've got anabolism. This is the builder. It takes all the small molecules from the food you eat and uses them to build up larger things. You know, like when your body synthesizes new protein to build muscle after a workout. Then on the other side of the rope, you've got catabolism. This is the demolisher. It takes large molecules, like that bagel you had for breakfast, and breaks them down to release the energy that you need to, well, to do anything.
So why all this building up and breaking down? Well, it all serves one ultimate purpose, and it's a word you might have heard before, homeostasis. It sounds complicated, but really it's just your body's amazing talent for keeping everything on the inside stable and consistent, no matter what's going on outside. It's like the body's obsession with things being, well, just right.
And a perfect example of this is your body temperature, right? I mean, think about it. It doesn't matter if you're hiking in a scorching desert or walking through a blizzard, your internal thermostat is working overtime to keep you right around that 37 degrees Celsius mark. That's stability. That's homeostasis in action.
So how does it pull this off? Well, mostly through a really clever system called negative feedback. It's pretty simple, actually. Let's say your body gets too hot. Receptors, little sensors, detect that change. What's the response? You start to sweat, which cools you down. See? The action, cooling, is the total opposite of the stimulus, getting hot. It's this constant correction, this pushing back against any change that keeps everything in balance.
Okay, so we get the mission. Now let's zoom in. How is your body actually built from the ground up? We're going to go from that big picture view right down to the fundamental blueprint for life itself.
You can kind of think of the body as being built in layers, with each one getting more complex. At the very bottom, you've just got simple, non-living stuff, atoms and molecules. But then those come together to form the first true level of life, the cell. From there, cells team up to make tissues, and different tissues work together to build organs, like your heart or your lungs. It's this beautiful, organized hierarchy.
And this, right here, is the magic moment. I mean, atoms and molecules on their own, that's just chemistry. But when you arrange them in just the right way to form a cell, boom, something incredible happens. You cross the threshold from non-living to living. The cell is the smallest possible thing that we can actually call alive. It's the fundamental Lego brick that builds, well, you.
Okay, so let's actually go inside one of these building blocks. Because a cell is not just some simple blob of goo. Oh no. It's more like a bustling, microscopic city. It's got everything, a border patrol, power stations, shipping warehouses, the whole shebang. So every good city needs a border, right? For the cell, that's the plasma membrane. But this is no ordinary wall. It's more like an intelligent gatekeeper. The technical term is selectively permeable, but that's just a fancy way of saying it's like a super strict bouncer at an exclusive club. It decides exactly who gets in and who has to stay out. And getting things across this border happens in two main ways. First, you've got passive transport. This is the easy way. It's like floating down a river. Molecules just move from a place where there's a lot of them to a place where there are fewer. No energy needed from the cell. But then, you've got active transport. This is the hard way. This is like trying to push a giant boulder uphill. You're moving stuff against its natural flow, and you can bet that's going to require some serious energy, which the cell has to pay for.
And a perfect example of this is something called the sodium-potassium pump. It's this tiny little machine embedded in the cell's membrane, and it is working nonstop, using up energy to pump sodium out and pull potassium in. Now, I know that sounds super specific and maybe a little small, but believe me, this one process is absolutely critical for every single nerve impulse and muscle contraction in your entire body.
Now, inside our little cell city, you have all these specialized departments. They're called organelles, and one of the most important is the Golgi apparatus. I love this description I once heard for it: a combination workshop and shipping warehouse. And that's exactly what it does. It grabs newly built proteins, tinkers with them, packages them up nice and neat, and then ships them out to wherever they're needed in the cell.
And of course, the city has a ton of other vital departments. You've got ribosomes. Those are the actual factories building the proteins. You've got the famous mitochondria, the power plants, churning out all that energy we talked about to fuel the whole operation. Lysosomes, they're the recycling centers, breaking down all the waste. And the cytoskeleton provides all the internal scaffolding and roadways. It's a busy place.
You know, as amazing as a single cell is, its real power, well, it comes from teamwork. Cells hardly ever work alone. They get organized into these highly specialized teams called tissues. And a tissue is basically just a group of similar cells all working together to do one specific job. And believe it or not, your entire body is built from just 4 main types of tissue. First, you've got epithelial tissue. Think of this as the covering, like your skin or the lining of your stomach. Then there's connective tissue, which is basically the glue and support that holds you together. We're talking bones, cartilage, even blood. You've got muscle tissue, which, no surprise, is all about creating movement. And finally, nervous tissue. This is the body's electrical wiring. Your brain, your spinal cord, all your nerves.
All right, let's pull the camera back out. We've seen metabolism, we've gone inside the cell, we've looked at tissues. So how do all these incredibly detailed pieces fit together to create the living, breathing person that is, well, you?
Remember where we started with homeostasis? Well, now we can see it's the grand unifying theme of the entire body. Absolutely everything we've discussed, from that one tiny little sodium-potassium pump all the way up to the largest organ, your skin, it's all working in concert for one single purpose: to maintain that perfect, stable, internal balance.
So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. Your body is not some static, unchanging machine. Not at all. It's this breathtakingly dynamic system that's constantly in flux. It's always breaking down, rebuilding, adapting, and adjusting, all in this tireless quest to maintain balance. And that leaves us with a really fascinating, almost philosophical question to chew on. This constant process of renewal means billions of your cells are replaced every single day. So the actual physical collection of atoms that makes up you right now is almost completely different from the atoms that made you up just a year ago. Which kind of begs the question, doesn't it? Are you, really, the same person? Definitely something to think about.